Here we go, folks. Another surf report. It's going to be overwhelming this week, and you wouldn't know it had we not done the I-Ching. The I-Ching saved me, I think, in this report. I think it's realistic, as I'll get to, but we have a lot going on, and it's all very motivating energy. Nah, maybe not all, but most of it. Big, motivating energy, including the waxing gibbous moon. But it's going to be taxing on all of us, as if it hasn't already. And what's making it hard on me doing these surf reports, even though it looks like everything's fairly normal, I'm working on a big detour that Uranus gave me, a broken foot, a fractured foot. So I'm kind of supported here by a little trolley that helps me get around, but everything takes longer. Talk about a huge detour. How many of you had detours from last week? And I think these detours from Uranus are gonna keep coming. So keep adapting, keep your awareness high. But let's get started on this surf report. Got a whole gaggle here in Taurus. And we'll get into all that. Sun's gonna leave Taurus and go into Gemini. We have a waxing gibbous moon. We have a bunch of Plutonian kind of energies, and so the I-Ching says retreat, and it's like, wow, how's that possible? I'm going through all the astrology, going, everything seems to point to put the accelerator down and move forward, but we have this retreat, and now it's not just there does need to be a lot more words and context to this retreat thing, because that's important, and to be fair, but nonetheless, it's like it seems to be the opposite of what the astrology is saying. And I have been able to put it all together. It's the byproduct of all these changes. So Jupiter and Uranus is shaking everything up in a very expansive way. We also have Mercury square Pluto. That just goes with all these Plutonian effects that we're going to talk about. But adapting to everything, plus all these different alignments, separately putting the accelerator on forward, it's just so much that I think we're going to feel very overwhelmed. Dreambot is coming along, and it looks like it's building its baseline so nicely. So I'm happy about that, but it'll take some more time. All right, let's get started on our report. And a huge shout out to James Dunn. Man, really did it well. The comment here is the best comment of the week. And he says, possible purpose of the Dreambot crash is to encourage greater reliance on internal systems. And 8 people thought that was great. We had 4 replies on that one. And so I think that was a great idea. I think we all need to develop our intuitive systems. Very valuable in this time and age that we live. Going straight into the astrology, we go big picture. You are here in this little band right here. And it's in the new moon cycle of Taurus. And it's going to end. Our surf week's going to end just before the full moon in Sagittarius. So that's actually going to be part of this energy that we're not going to, I'm talking about it now. You're not going to hear it again, probably. But the full moon happens on the next surf report, very first day of the next surf report, which means plus or minus 24 hours of full moon energy. You're going to feel that towards the end of our current surf week, even though it's in the next surf report. And that's just another put the metal to the floor and accelerate forward kind of energy. Your current energy window, now this is interesting, is ending right as our surf report ends. So, we're going to be transitioning the next surf report. We'll have a new week, but we'll also have a new energy window. So this is it, of the gold rush. Other than the big spike in price of gold at the very beginning of the alignment, Jupiter and Uranus, we haven't seen a whole lot of value increase there, but we have seen an amazing amount of effort by everyone to try to find values. So that energy is still very apparent, and it will be until more like June, because that's when the alignment really ends. But going back to this week, so this is this sliver of time here with the vertical lines. We have Sun, as I mentioned, going into Gemini. Next surf week, we'll have Venus going into Gemini, and that's what really shakes things up in the background signature. And I really don't have a lot more to say about that. The next window is going to be the cocktail party in Gemini. Here's your graph for the week. It's just a straight line, kind of just maxed out. Funny, but you'll see. I'm pretty sure you'll see. So let's get started on Thursday, the 16th. First, waxing gibbous moon with a whole bunch in the background of fixed Earth energy. 6. I mean, it's dominant. 6 fixed, 6 Earth. What is fixed Earth? It's Taurus. And no surprise, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in Taurus. And then there's the moon is in Earth, making that 6. So fixed Earth, signature backdrop. Everyone's, got their heels dug in. Some people kind of sway towards the lazy. Some people sway towards the workaholism, but it's all Taurus. Once it's hard to get them started, but once they do, it's this big, heavy train. It's hard to get stopped. So where shall we start? We shall start with Mars and North Node conjunct. Mars is headed straight to the North Node. That's this guy. The signature combines the bold initiating energy of Mars with the karmic drive and purpose of the North Node. The pioneering hero archetype is filled with passionate desire, independent spirit, and the courage to face challenges head on. So with this energy, with Mars over the North Node, you may feel incredible self-motivation and personal drive, confidence to initiate, ability to overcome obstacles with courage, just like this gentleman did up the mountain. You might feel the same. This is just one. This is our first. So 2 forward energies right now, waxing gibbous moon right at the get-go, first day of our surf week, and Mars over North Node. And then even more, we have this pressure. Our only square on the alignments is Mercury square Pluto. And this invokes the age-old paradox. I call this the moving defense. And what that means is you have adaptable Mercury in a fixed sign. So it can get very defensive, but you can be adaptable and moving to defend, fixed. That doesn't sound, it sounds paradoxical or oxymoron. Moving, fixed, adaptable, fixed, but it's more like a soccer goalie. So they're fixed in front of the goal and they're meant to defend against a goal, but they move and adapt and move really fast. And that's kind of what this Mercury is right now. Adaptably fixed, stubborn, grounded communication that refuses to budge. It's the unstoppable force. Is Pluto in Aquarius, profound collective transformation and upheaval of collective power structures. And when these 2 archetypes collide or clash or square up like they're doing right now, it's an epic confrontation. Neither side wants to yield, digging their heels in further, intensifying the battle of wills. There's your third huge force of forward energy, or at least higher will, maybe not forward technically, but you get it, expansive and profoundly yang. All right, Friday the 17th, you see a lot of trines. This is the Virgo waxing gibbous moon is highlighting all these planets in Taurus, except for Mercury. And what I want to highlight now is this Venus. Oops, sorry about that. What happened? I hit something on the keyboard. All right, we're back. So Venus conjunct Uranus is happening, and that's within about a degree at this point, midday on Friday the 17th. This is the revolutionary lover. The signature combines the sensual, stabilizing energy of Venus with the innovative, disruptive energy of Uranus. And it's like a romantic revolutionary who seeks to overthrow the conventional notions of what love is in favor of a more authentic, liberated expression. The revolutionary lover archetype is both deeply attuned to the physical world and radically open to change, creating a potent alchemy of earthy magnetism and electrical unpredictability. And just a lot more change as well. Change in finance, change in monetary, change in relationship, change in how we understand. But above all, because Venus in Taurus, change in what you value. So with a broken, fractured foot, I now have so much more understanding of how I value or how I undervalued the value of a foot. And hobbling around on one foot really makes me value that second foot. All right, and then we also have the Sun and Jupiter in Taurus, the abundant illuminator. The Sun conjunct Jupiter in Taurus radiates a warm, expansive energy that enhances vitality, confidence, and a sense of life's abundant blessings. All of these are just adding more expansiveness and bigness and yangness. It's going to be overwhelming. So this conjunction, Sun and Jupiter, is a sense of life's abundant blessings. It's like a generous king presiding over a prosperous and fertile kingdom, shining light on all that is good and valuable. With Sun and Jupiter together in Taurus, you might feel amplified sense of confidence, optimism, and enthusiasm, expansive opportunities for material prosperity and success. But remember, tendency towards overindulging or extravagance, exaggerated sense of optimism or entitlement. Those are your risks. So anyway, you got two more alignments that speak to big yang energy. Then on Saturday, the 18th, we have Sun making with a very important sextile over to Neptune, getting very tight here, both of them together, Sun and Jupiter. So it's double the load over here. Sextiles, two of them represent opportunities. It's the inspired benefactor. The sextile to Neptune infuses this earthy abundance with a sense of inspired vision, compassion, and higher purpose. If you need an image, here's where it would be. You've got the abundance around this benefactor or inspired person. It's like a radiant philanthropist who sees the interconnectedness of all things and uses their resources to uplift others and manifest dreams into reality. You might feel amplified sense of faith, hope, and inspired vision with this sextile. You might feel an expansive opportunities for material and spiritual prosperity. Sunday, not a lot of change. We still have all those alignments that I talked about, including the very first one, which is Mars over the North Node. So one thing I would like to highlight is the parallels that I haven't yet is, like Sun and Jupiter, for example, is also parallel. So this is a Cazimi, Jupiter Cazimi. And then you've got Venus and Jupiter. Venus is also technically in a conjunction with Jupiter as well, but they're all in alignment. You got Jupiter and Uranus, we covered in the energy windows, parallel. All these are parallel, meaning that they're intensified. So you thought, everything that I just said, intensifying even more with the inclinations. All right, moving on. Monday, the 20th, the sun is going into Gemini at 7:59 a.m. on the 20th of May. It's a Monday. And as the sun moves into Gemini, it brings a lively, curious energy to self-expression and communication. And this shift is amplified by the sun's conjunction to Jupiter in Taurus, just like we talked about before, expanding the desire to learn, share ideas, and connect with others in generous, abundant ways. It's like a master storyteller. It's like, you can see how all of these alignments correlate with each other. It's like radiant. We talked about the radiant one yesterday. It's like a master storyteller who captivates their audience with a wealth of knowledge, humor, and optimism, making everyone feel enriched by the exchange. So once we get into Monday, you may feel more enhanced mental agility, wit, and eloquence, expanded opportunities for learning, teaching, and networking, or a generous, optimistic attitude that attracts connections. So, got that. Even more yangy. Tuesday the 21st, we still have the fixed Earth, but you can see they're waning out now. But even with the sun gone, it's still heavily weighted towards Taurus backdrop. You'll hear astrologers call this, because the sun is in Gemini, we call that Gemini season. And that's why I like to do these energy windows, is because the backdrop says Taurus, but the sun is in Gemini. So which one's stronger? What's the dominant energy when you put it all together? That's what the energy windows are meant to do. All right, and our final day of the CIRF report is Wednesday the 22nd. And we have Sun trine Pluto, because as soon as Sun gets into Gemini, it's an almost immediate Pluto in your face trine, like an alchemist transmuting lead into gold. The enlightened soul alchemist uses the power of ideas, information exchange, and social interaction to catalyze profound changes in society. The trine aspect provides harmonious environment for this alchemy to occur. And so with this Plutonian trine to the sun, easy access to knowledge and ideas that can bring about change in society, an ability to communicate transformative concepts to the collective, and some of the risks might be potential for scattered engagement with transformative ideas, or risk of information overload and mental overstimulation. So there you have it. And then don't forget, this full moon happens on the next day, the 23rd, and then we also get the new energy window. So everything changes starting on the next CIRF report. Let's get into the I-Ching real quick. We got hexagram 33 with no change lines. Strategic retreat, remember, is not to be confused with escape, giving up, or surrender. You might feel exhausted or overwhelmed. I think that's going to be the one. With all this yang energy and expansive, productive, pressured energy, you probably will feel exhausted and overwhelmed, recognizing the need for a break or a retreat, experiencing frustration with their current circumstances, maybe questioning your current path or strategy, maybe feeling drained by your endeavors, realizing that pushing forward with their current approach is ineffective. So there's a lot of things, a lot of context with this retreat hexagram. All right, let's go to... I got to put this down, got to move some things so we can get to our summary slide. This is the influence. There are expansive, transformative, and motivating energies this week, but it may prove to be saturating and exhausting, especially as Uranus continues making material and identity-related detours. Mars over the North Node adds confidence and drive towards your future path. Fixed earth energies dominate the background, which may prove incompatible to the energizing alignments with the various planets. You may feel like retreating this week, or at least desiring a reprieve of some sort. So now you can kind of see what the overall energy influence is. It's a lot, period. Now we need to figure out what to do with that energy, and that's why we go back to the solution. All right. Let's get down to transition to the solution. Because we had no change lines, we have the solution as hexagram 33 as well. Periods of withdrawal or retreat call for cool-headedness. Here are some behavioral suggestions. Recognize the need for a retreat. Embrace introspection. Engage in self-reflection. Pause and reassess frequently. Set healthy boundaries. You can easily get saturated with yang-type activities and projects with this energy. Regain strength and energy. Plan and strategize. Practice patience. That is something that a Taurus can do. And speaking of, I put our sun goes into Gemini as the biggest energy of this week. And there was a lot of competitors, but I think nothing as big as the sun going into Gemini, which puts us into hexagram 8 of the Rave, and it gives us Taurus sidereal. So we had the energetic influence in the background of the tropical astrology is Taurus all week, and we also have sidereal Taurus for our solution. So that's so cool. I like to say holding it together, even though hexagram 8 says holding together, sort of implies a social construct. But the energies that we're looking at, it's just hold it together, people. Line 6 says communion, the certainty which grows out of harmony. And what we're looking for in this Rave is the gift of knowing when to contribute creatively. The gift of knowing when to contribute creatively. Okay. The big deal here is knowing when. Okay. So keep that in mind, and let's hit our solution. Let me go over our triangulation methods first. We have the I-Ching that was said retreat. It doesn't mean this whole week you retreat, okay? It means, you saw it, it means to consider gaining your energy, thinking about things, spending a little more introspective time. It doesn't mean the whole week you spend your time in retreat mode. No, definitely not. Especially with the Rave. The Rave is all about time and when to apply your yang. We have sidereal Taurus. Taurus can be lazy and productive, hard to get started, hard to quit. And it can be a brute force in getting those longer projects done. And then we have the waxing gibbous moon, which is motivating. So we have lots of yang, but we have some caution with that yang with the I-Ching 33 and the Rave. With an increasingly illuminated moon this week, one would think it's time to push full forward on the accelerator to get a lot done. You would not be wrong to say this, except timing is the key for this week. This is the gift that the Rave and the I-Ching give us, is that it's not just an all-out go do it because there's way too much energy. Bold output and goal accomplishment is certainly within this triangulation, but so is the opposite. And the opposite examples are retreating, consolidating, planning, boundary making, regenerating, rejuvenating. Yin activity is also equally in this mix. So the suggestion here becomes one of watching for the signs that tell you which mode is warranted. If you feel lazy, sleepy, overwhelmed, socially saturated, anxious, depressed, or isolative, this is where you focus your energy inward in Taurus style. So Taurus can just experience as a very yin type of activity. Taurus is very good at using their five senses in a sensory environment and be one with the now And that's a very yin state. When you're purely in the now, you get rejuvenated. All right. And that's what it's saying. If you feel lazy, sleepy, overwhelmed, socially saturated, etc., depressed or isolative, then go inward in Taurus style. Go to your 5 senses. Go into the now and rejuvenate. And don't do anything and don't think anything. Very hard to do. But Taurus, Sidereal Taurus can do that. But if you find yourself lonely, bored, pent up, angry, booming vitality, expressive or extroverted, or just very yangy, start focusing outward or yang. Also, ironically, in Taurus style, Taurus can really push through obstacles. One of the best in the zodiac. So pound through obstacles. You can go for the longer projects if you want to, if you have the adequate time. And that brings us back to the Rave and the I-Ching 33. Make sure that you're paying attention to your energy inside your own body and how much, whether or not it's the right time to put forth that effort. But it is not a week of just complete retreat. It's energy dependent. And so there you have it. All right, everybody, this is all I have for this surf report. I wish all of you a very blessed week, and I hope your Uranus changes and your detours that might continue this week are very productive and aligned with your life purpose, and hopefully not nearly as negative as mine have been. All right, take care, everybody. Love and light. And I will see you next week for another powerful surf report.